Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity to come and give an update to y'all once again. I think we do this a couple of times a year, so that's really good. I know we also do the noon Rotary occasionally as well, and I think I've even done the one in Burnett once. They hadn't invited me back, so I don't know. Maybe it's a north-south thing. I'm not sure. But anyway, Marble Falls EMS, we are a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. And because of the length of time that we've been in business, 45 years, and the number of staffing and the size of our budget, we're probably the oldest and the largest nonprofit corporation in the area. So Marble Falls EMS was incorporated in 1976, and it was all volunteer for the first 20 years. And after the first 20 years, they decided that the call volume was starting to increase with the community getting larger, and so they decided that they needed some help. And so in 1996, I was the very first paid paramedic in Marble Falls. We had one EMS station on 9th Street and 1.5 ambulances. One was in really, really bad shape. And we covered southern Burnett County, the city of Marble Falls, and the city of Meadow Lakes. Almost every volunteer fire department in Burnett County had their own EMS service. So as you can imagine, all of these small volunteer fire departments running EMS throughout the county, it was kind of a mess. And they did the best they could. You may have a paramedic here on this day, but not on this day. And so we started to consolidate some of that down after I'd been here a couple of years. And as you can imagine, the technology has changed, the equipment has changed, staffing education has changed, and now we have 2 EMS services that cover the county. So City of Burnett Fire Department EMS covers the north part of the county, the city of Burnett, the city of Bertram. We cover southern Burnett County and southeastern Llano County, which is all of the cities in southern Burnett County, and then Horseshoe Bay, Deer Haven, Blue Lake, Sandy Harbor, Oak Ridge, all of those areas. So about 350 square miles, 35,000 citizens, give or take, depending on what time of the year it is, whether we have people coming in to Horseshoe Bay or Marble Falls for big events, that number can increase. So in 1996, we were running about maybe three calls a day. 30 calls a month. And so our annual budget was right around $75,000 to $90,000 a year. So very, very small. And as we expanded out and as the years have changed, we have 39 employees now. We operate out of 4 stations. We have a station in Marble Falls. We have a station in Granite Shoals, one in Horseshoe Bay. And in 2017, between us, Burnett County Commissioners Court, Burnett County ESD 9, and Marble Falls ISD, we were able to build a station in Spicewood. And so that took a 25-minute paramedic response out of Marble Falls, going all the way out to Spicewood, down to about 8 or 9 minutes. And so that worked out really well. And we've been able to do a lot of things in Spicewood, and we're very thankful for that relationship we have with that part of the county. We will, this year, we will run over 5,000 calls for service. Like I said, 39 employees, 7 ambulances, 5 of those run 24/7. You always got to have a couple of backups, football game standbys, or something's in the shop, or just all kinds of different reasons why you have to have a couple of backups. So this year, we just started our new fiscal year October 1st, and our budget is now just over $4 million a year. And so the majority of that comes from when we bill for an ambulance call. So if we go out on a call and we transport, we bill your insurance company or Medicare or Medicaid and your supplement, whatever we have. And that's where the majority of our income comes from. The other parts of it is we contract with the individual cities and unincorporated Burnett County. We contract with Burnett County ESD1, which is Horseshoe Bay, Llano County ESD1, which is the other side of Horseshoe Bay, Deer Haven, Blue Lake, Sandy Harbor. And then we also contract with Burnett County ESD9, which is Spicewood. And so all of those contracts plus donations, we do 2 fish fries a year here at the Blue Bonnet Cafe. They've done those for over 30 years. And man, we just can't say enough about what they do for us. Most of the funds that we get through the 2 fish fries go towards our training and education for our employees. And so we really appreciate those guys. But donations, that's still nonprofit corporation, our contracts with our cities, and then our billing for the ambulance calls and that sort of stuff. So Marble Falls EMS, our main station is on Industrial Boulevard across from Foxworth over there. The volunteer fire department is right behind us. The volunteer fire department contracts with the city of Meadow Lakes and unincorporated Burnett County. And then our Granite Shoals station covers pretty much the city of Granite Shoals, city of Highland Haven, and part of Hoover Valley. And then our Horseshoe Bay station obviously covers all the way out 71 to Sandy Creek and all of that area down to the Blanco County line. And then Spicewood station covers all of that area out there and all the way up to 401. So average response time is really good because we've got ambulances scattered right around 9 to 10 minutes average in your cities where the trucks are located. It's going to be better. Marble Falls, Meadow Lakes is anywhere from 6 to 7 minutes. Granite Shoals, 6 to 7 minutes. Horseshoe Bay, 8 to 9 minutes, depending on where we're going in Horseshoe Bay. You know, there are some areas of Horseshoe Bay that are really difficult to get to. Applehead, or if you're going out to Deer Haven or Blue Lake or Sandy Harbor, those areas, those are going to take, you know, probably 10 to 12 minutes for those calls. But overall average is really good. In addition to just providing emergency medical services, our service does some other pretty unique things as well. We have a car seat program, and 2 of the cities, Meadow Lakes and Cottonwood Shores, contribute to the car seat program. Anybody that needs a car seat that comes to our station or through one of our events and can't afford a car seat, we replace it free of charge. 90% of every car seat that we've ever checked is not in compliance. They're not installed correctly, or they are old and have been passed down from one child to another. And so we replace a lot of car seats, and we've got 5 or 6 car seat techs that go to school. It's a week-long school in San Marcos, and you can't imagine all the different types of car seats, the different types of cars that these car seats have to be mounted in. It's just crazy. And so when someone shows up at our station needing a car seat, we try to make sure that we have one of the technicians on duty at Central Station almost all of the time, so that we're able to serve them. The other thing is our education classes, CPR, first aid, all of that stuff. Bob Hamilton, one of our lieutenants, does that. So if you guys haven't taken CPR lately, it's a great thing to do. We had a 3-year-old that almost drowned over by Kingsland this weekend. Doctor on scene pulled 3-year-old out of the pool, started CPR. He was talking to us when we put him on the helicopter. And so CPR just and all of that first aid sort of stuff can really save some lives. So the other thing that we're pretty proud of that we just started, for years we've had a high school EMT program, and we graduated multiple kids out of the high school program. Some of them have gone on to places like Texas A&M that have their own EMS, so these guys can work while they're going to college, and some other areas do the same thing. But we added an adult EMT program this spring. And so the first adult EMT program, I think, had 15 or 18 individuals We've already got 25 in line for the next class that starts, I think, in February. And then we've got some that are even holding over for the next class. So the next 3 classes are almost already full with adults that are wanting to go into the EMS or fire service or whatever, they're going to do after they get their EMT. Some of them, they'll go to work for us. And we've always recruited out of the 2 main colleges, the Central Texas College and Austin Community College. We recruit heavy out of both of those. And but we saw the need to kind of grow some of our own. 70% of our staff lives in Williamson and Travis County. So when we need them back here quick, we started this EMT program to kind of, and it's great for the community. The more EMTs you got out there, the better off you are. And let's see, I think that's it as far as kind of the extracurricular stuff. We're involved on a regional basis. We're involved in Homeland Security. I'm on the task force, have been since 2005. Judge Kidhill appointed me to that committee back then, and I'm still on that. And our Capital Area Trauma Regional Advisory Council, we're still involved in that, and a whole host of other things that just really keep us busy. So just EMS is a small part of it. There's a much larger picture. Real quickly, I'll take any questions that you might have, and then I've got a little short video thing for you to look at. Yes, ma'am.
What's the cost of the training?
I think it's around $1,800 per person, so it's still pretty inexpensive.
Scholarships or?
Not at this time. I think eventually we'll probably have some of that. We do allow some of the students to pay it out throughout the course. But right now, as far as scholarships, no. Now we do have scholarships once they become an EMT and they go to work for us. We have a family that will pay the cost to send EMTs to paramedic school. And so we've been doing that since 2008. And so this family has very generously donated a lot of funds to send these individuals to full paramedic school. It's going to be $5,000 to $6,000 probably, depending on which program you go through.
So EMT is going to be 8 weeks?
It's about 6 weeks. I mean, about 6 months. So about no, EMT is 6 months of school, 2 nights a week. Sometimes there's some classes on the weekends. A paramedic program is a full associate's degree through one of the colleges. So that's a 2-year program.
I'm not done. So how about community safety? Are y'all involved in that? We should do the wellness checks to avoid.
That was the other thing. Yes. So Vaughn Hamilton, who does our CPR classes, he is also our community paramedic. And so we have, most of those are referrals from staff on calls that we just keep going to and keep going to. Sometimes it's referrals from the hospital, but Vaughn goes out in the community. He visits with these patients, whether they're having issues with diabetes, their medications, diet, a whole host of things that he works with them on. We've had one patient that lost 120 pounds based off of Vaughn just going out there and meeting with him. And it's a really good program. Thanks for bringing that up, because that's the third leg of that I kind of forgot about.
Mental health as well. Y'all work a lot.
Mental health.
De-escalation.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping those folks out of the justice system.
Yeah, Mike Sorensen is our mental health officer for Burnett County Sheriff's Office. We work with him, and he's been really great. When the Sheriff's Office added that program, that was a game changer for us, because we would get on scene, and a lot of times your choices are either you go to jail or you go to the hospital. There wasn't any kind of in between. So Mike's brought that in now, and some of these deputies or us will transport to the appropriate facility for mental health issues.
Atlanta County has the equivalent of John Hill.
Okay,
So
right, correct. Yes, yeah. So, yes, sir.
So you said the CPR class, how much is that?
I think that's 60.
Okay.
And it's on our Facebook page. I think the next one's October 28th.
Okay.
And but I think it's around 60, and that's adult. child and infant CPR, plus some first aid kicked in there as well.
Talk a little bit about the communication system,
Sure.
and how that benefits everybody, all different services.
So as part of the Homeland Security Task Force and the federal grants associated with that program, Burnett, Llano, and Blanco County built probably a $10 to $15 million communication system. Almost all of that was funded by federal funds. That system has a total of, I think, 12 towers. We're adding one in Mason and one in Stonewall. And the coverage for those towers is Burnett, Blanco, Llano, Lampasas, but it extends out into the other counties as well. Communication system is also tied into Gators, which is the Greater Austin Travis Regional Radio System. And that's where the brains of the communication system is located. And from there, they reach out to Texarkana, they reach out to Permian Basin, Mid-Coast, Middle Rio Grande Valley, Houston, some other areas that we're able to tie all these networks together with either just flipping some switches or plugging cables in here and there. So like when we have hurricane evacuees coming into Austin off of the coast, we've got communications with the helicopters and the ambulances all up and down the Gulf Coast, all the way back to Austin. And it ties our three little poor counties into a much greater system that allows us, I was telling Gil, I've got handheld coverage from Lomita to the city limits of San Antonio, and then from west to east, from around Pontotoc all the way to the other side of Bastrop. And so being able to do that has just really changed a lot of things for us, and the system works really well. And, you can't imagine the maintenance with all of those towers. Those towers are $500,000 to $750,000 a piece. They all have generators. They all have all these pieces and parts. It's crazy, but it works out really good for us.
And so in something like a natural disaster, like the rain bomb years ago, EMS, police, and sheriff, and fire, and they communicate with those services from other counties. Those systems are fairly talk across the county.
Yeah.
EMS talking fire, for example, could be impossible.
Yeah. And we've got one channel that every fire, police, and EMS agency monitors, plus all of the dispatch centers monitor. So Burnett, Llano, Blanco County, and City of Marble Falls Dispatch all monitor this one talk group. It's in every scan list. So if anybody gets in trouble, somebody's there to answer that. The other one that we all monitor now is the Marble Falls ISD one channel. So if a bus gets in trouble or they have some sort of an issue at a school, we can shut down everything else and go to that talk group, and everybody's on the same page. And that works really, really well. All right. Jay Marie, any questions?
I think it's awesome.
Thank you. Any more questions?
I've never